One of the best ways to tell if someone's actually going to achieve what they say they're going to achieve is by looking at their day-to-day habits. What are they doing? What are they doing in regards to their actions? How are they speaking to other people? Are they doing what they say they are? And are those things they say they are doing and that they're actually doing going to get them from the point they are to the point they want to be? See, when it comes down to it, everyone has these different things, right? You might have a specific goal that you're wanting to work towards, whether it's growing a business, getting to the best shape of your life, whether it's starting a new hobby or whether it's starting a new skill and getting very good at it. However, if you say you are going to get very competent at it, let's say you're going to become a magician, for example, you might go out there and say, I'm going to become the best magician in the world. But if everyone's watching you, let's just say there's a film crew watching you, they're watching your every action, they're watching your every move, they're watching everything you do on a day-to-day life, and they cannot see any efforts put towards becoming the best magician in the world, then you're just going to be lying to yourself and you're going to be lying to everyone that you say you are going to achieve that. Now, when it comes down to it, everyone has these habits. Everyone has goals that they want to work towards. And to work towards those goals, they need to be doing the right things every day, day in, day out to actually achieve those. And for me, going into the gym and getting started with the gym was one of the best things that ever happened to me. And here's why. Now, as I mentioned, the habits that you do on a day-to-day basis curate who you're going to become. Again, if you go out there and you're doing all the things that are required for you to actually become the person that you want to become, then by all means, it's only a matter of time before you actually become that person. Now, for me personally, I was wanting to always look my best, feel my best, and honestly do everything with pure conviction and understand that I'm the most competent and the best version of myself. Now, I couldn't do that back in 2022, back in 2021, because number one, I wasn't in the best shape. Number two, I had no idea what I was doing. And then number three, I had no clear goals on what I wanted to work towards. But after I actually discovered the gym, after I actually got addicted to the gym, and after the gym actually saved my life, I was able to reflect back on how far I've come in regards to my features, how far I've come in regards to my habits, and how far I've come in regards to my lifestyle and how I live my day-to-day life. And when you do the comparison, it's crazy. See, back in 2022, it was all theoretical for me. I wanted to get into the gym. I wanted to be working out on a consistent basis. I wanted to have the right habits, but at the end of the day, I just wasn't putting any actions towards it. That was until I actually got a gym membership. Now, that turning point, so again, that was around March of 2022, consistently, I started going to the gym. And again, that was when my life changed. I started going to the gym consistently. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, but I was going out there and I was actually putting actions towards it. I'll be doing push-pull legs. I'll be doing that 6 days a week. Sometimes I'd even train 7 days a week because again, I didn't know what rest days were. I didn't know how to recover properly. I didn't know the bare basics. I just knew if I go into the gym and I give it my all every single day, then I might actually get closer to my goal being looking aesthetically pleasing and feeling my best and obviously getting more muscle on, right? So that's what I did. For the next 6 months, I just continued doing that process. Of course, I got injured. Of course, I messed up and then I tried doing a bunch of things to make up for it, but again, they just didn't work, right? And it just got to a point where I realized, okay, I need to take this thing a little bit more seriously. So I did some research. I went out there, I started understanding like macros, protein, carbs, fats, and then like basic timing, like have carbs before training, protein post-training, then for the dinner, protein keeps me more full, etc. All these different things I started educating myself on, right? And when I went ahead and actually did those steps, it deepened my knowledge around who I wanted to become, and that knowledge has turned me into the person I am right now. If I didn't go ahead and actually put in the knowledge, if I didn't go ahead and actually put in the work to expand my knowledge and actually push myself in the gym and be more and more consistent, learn how to recover properly, I wouldn't have been able to make the transformation from this guy all the way to this guy. It wouldn't have happened if I didn't go out there and actually make the moves. Now, you could reflect back on the thing that I said at the very start saying, if a film crew was watching your every move, would they be able to figure out where you wanted to go? At the start of that journey, yes. They would have been able to look at 2022 me, so when I was 15 or 16, and think, okay, this kid's serious about the gym. He's actually wanted to go ahead and actually make a life out of himself in regards to his physique and in regards to how he looks, how he feels. They could tell that purely by the actions I was doing on a day-to-day basis. I was spending hours in the gym. I was reading a little bit more around nutrition. I was trying to track my food, even though, again, I had no clue what I was doing. They could see that I was actually putting actions towards it. Now, if we fast forward a year from then, I tried my best. I tried bulking. It did not work. Now, I learned a lot from this experience, right? It was dirty bulking. I just thought, okay, if I eat X amount of calories, I'll get to this point, I'll put on a lot of muscle. I might put a little bit of fat on, but as we can all tell, that just was not the case, right? Now, at the end of the day, I realized that I just needed to do a quick body recomposition. So I went ahead, educated myself a little bit more. Realized that I need to train, but I also need to move around, make sure I lose some body fat, make sure that I'm actually training hard so I keep my muscle on while I'm in a calorie deficit. And after consistently training, dedicating myself, do multiple different types of training methods to keep things a little bit more busy for myself, but also burn a lot of calories, I was able to make the transformation from this all the way to this in around about a year. Because again, it took me a lot of time and I was doing all of this by myself. Now, as soon as I made that transformation, I had a realization. Okay, I can get down to this body fat percentage. I was around 9% body fat at this specific time. And I was getting ready for a fight, hence why I needed to drop down body fat. But at the end of the day, it wasn't something I sustained whatsoever. I binge ate, I ate a lot of food that I probably shouldn't have, and an excess amount of calories that was way too much for me. And at the end of the day, after 2 weeks of doing this process, after going from this all the way to this, I ate completely wrong and just continuously ate and stuffed my face for 2 weeks. And I went from this all the way to this. It was hard. Genuinely, it was hard. Going from looking like my best, being absolutely shredded, I just did not understand how to control myself. And that was a lesson in and of itself, right? If you see the best version of yourself, the leanest you've ever been, the confidence that you get from it, the conviction that you know exactly how to maintain that physique, if you get to that point where you're at that stage and you've got so much mental fortitude that you know you can do it again, then it kind of just slips your mind when you go ahead and you lose yourself in the process. And it's a bit of an ego and a reality hit for me. So when that happened, so mind you, this was around September last year, it really kicked me in the balls. I realized, shit, I do not know what I'm talking about. And I need to actually go ahead and educate myself in the deepest way possible. So that's what I did. I started doing ultra marathon running. I did running as well, understand more about recovery, more about training. And at the end of the day, I actually got my physique back. I put in the work in the gym. I tracked everything, progressive overload, making sure I was eating the right clean foods, making sure I was hitting my healthy fats, my proteins, my carbs, macronutrients, micronutrients as well. And again, I went from this all the way to this in about 2 months' time. Now, when it came down to it, I wanted to maintain this physique. And over the following few weeks, in the following few months, I was actually able to do so. Now, when it came down to it, January last year was a bit of a unique situation, you could say. I was preparing for my ultra. I'd carb loaded for about a couple of days and I look ultra bloated. And the only problem with this is when you do look your absolute worst compared to how you were looking maybe a couple of months ago, it again, this takes a hit to the ego. And this is one of the biggest lessons that I learned about my whole bodybuilding journey, and a lesson that I want to share to you guys later on down this video. Now, when it came down to that lesson, it taught me that sometimes there's seasons, and this is seasons in regards to your physique and what it looks like. Sometimes you need to sacrifice, maybe looking a little bit more fluffier, maybe looking a little bit more softer, so you can put up the weights in the gym and get stronger and build more muscle, hence a surplus or a bulk, some might say. Then there's going to be seasons where you want to look lean, you want to look aesthetic, you want to look like you've got a six-pack of abs. And at the end of the day, that is a cutting process, but that's a season. You can't put on a good amount of muscle and optimize the entire process while also being in a deficit. It's just not how it works. So when it does come down to it, understanding that one key concept really opened my eyes to allowing myself to actually achieve the physique that I want to achieve. Physique being, as of right now, this. Now, to actually go from this, so pre-ultra, all the way to this, which is, as of recently, this was about a couple of weeks ago, then it really just came down to realizing that there are seasons to these things, right? And we all go through these seasons with our physiques. Sometimes we like them, sometimes we hate them. But at the end of the day, one of the difficult things for a lot of people is just understanding how to shift in between those two seasons. How to actually go from lean all the way to bulking, but do it in a smooth manner where you don't gain too much fat. Vice versa, if you want to go from bulking all the way down to lean, making sure that you don't lose too much muscle in the process, and how to actually do that program. Now, I will be 100% real with you. If this is something that you are struggling with, especially if you've been plateauing and you don't fully understand what you need to be doing, then please hit the link in my bio below. I do one-to-one coaching. I just want you to reach out. We'll hop on a call. If I feel you're a good fit for what I might have to offer and this is something that you're genuinely serious about, then please let me know. But aside from that, that is just something that I do offer because, again, I understand how much it can help when it comes down to learning from someone who's gone through the experience that you're currently going through and they've actually gotten to that desired outcome. Desired outcome being putting on that muscle without getting too fat or getting lean enough where you're able to hold on as much muscle but also see the desired result in regards to your physique. Now, when it does come down to it, and these seasons, the seasons that I talk about in regards to your physique, understanding that every single time that you want to go ahead and change your body, that is a season. But seasons have to shift, right? You don't go automatically from winter to summer, right? It doesn't go from snowing, then straight away peak heat, 30 degrees. It gradually changes. And that's one of the most important things I want to actually articulate in this video. And the biggest mistake I made, which was just not realizing this season concept and how important it actually is. So when you go from lean, let's say you're 10% body fat, let's say you're 8% body fat like I was in this photo. Realize that when you go from lean all the way to your maintenance, you need to reverse diet and do it nice and gradually. That is going to be the most optimal way you can go about doing it. And plus it keeps things nice and simple. Now, once you get from lean all the way to maintenance, if you want to hold into a surplus, then cool, jump into a surplus. But just understanding that when you cut down, when your body weight drops, your metabolism drops as well. So maybe your maintenance metabolism wasn't set at that same standard that it was before you cut, and then since you've cut now, your body weight's dropped, now your metabolism dropped, and your new maintenance is something completely different compared to what it was when you were bulking, for example. So doing this process of reverse dieting, so going from lean all the way to maintenance nice and slowly, will slowly help bring your metabolism back up and back up to a normal base level. And then when you go from maintenance all the way to bulking, your metabolism might slowly go up as well, just so you don't gain too much fat in the process. That is a really, really simple lesson, but it's a lesson that I wish I knew. But I didn't know that at the time, right? I didn't know that when I was this guy. I didn't know that when I was this guy. But when I actually understood that concept and I actually implemented it into my own training, that's when I became this guy. And this guy is easily the most educated, and he's the guy that knows exactly what to do on a day-to-day basis to see the results that he wants to see. But when it does come down to it, just understanding that if you keep showing up every single day and actually giving some kind of effort, that is going to be the most important thing. Sure, you can go ahead and study all you want, but if you don't actually go into the gym and cause a stimulus for your muscles to grow and your body fat to drop, then there is going to be no point in me talking to you or even you watching this video right now. You need to actually go ahead and put some actionable steps that you can implement on a day-to-day basis. So, understanding that concept, please put something to action today. I don't care if you go for a walk, I don't care if you do 20 push-ups right now. Please do something today that will get you towards your desired outcome, and then make that one thing that you've done today a continuous habit, therefore making every single day a constant step forward towards your end goal, which might be being in the best shape of your life. But as I mentioned, that is the end of the video. And at the end of the day, if you are wanting some help in regards to doing this, because I know it can be a really treacherous journey and a journey that's very complicated, then please hit the link below. I'll see if you're a good fit. And then again, if I feel you're a good fit, then by all means, we can have a conversation about working together. But with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video, and much love.